Yes, I think in general, communication is the most important thing. It's why marriages fail. It's why relationships fail. It's why businesses close down. It's because people aren't communicating correctly. And more than just showing you how to use WhatsApp, yes, I'm a WhatsApp ninja. There's a lot I can share with you on WhatsApp. I want to touch on communication because I really believe that that is lacking with many people. And hi, Helen, I see you've also joined us. Nice to see you there, my friend. Uh, and
Awesome.
that I think is a crucial part. Let me just get all these devices of mine off because this phone of mine thinks it's a ping pong ball. It's been hopping all day long. Let me just get my tablet off as well because it's going to make noises in the background. So, communication for me is the most important thing because people lack in that department. I have people in my team that are brilliant communicators, others not so much. And you can literally see it in their results. It's about communication. So, just a couple of things I'd like to share on that. Jake Ducey is one of my mentors. He's a quantum physicist, and he used this analogy, and I really liked it. It's this guy that really wants to be in a relationship. He takes this girl out to dinner, and they sit down, and he's like, yeah, I really want to get into a relationship. I want to get married. I want the white picket fence. And honestly, if that's your approach on a first date, that girl is going to say, I'm going to the bathroom, and you're not going to see her again. And it's exactly the same process when we engaging with people about LifeWave. We have this incredible product that is literally saving people's lives. We can see it every day. And I think people are very eager to start sharing stories about what this technology does, but that is not how you do it. So, how do we communicate with people? The first point I want to make is in any sales process, the most important thing, and whether you like it or not, this is a sales process. Within LifeWave, it's a very different sales process because we don't really close people within LifeWave. There's no closing. You do this process that I'm about to explain right, people close themselves. And in any sales process, there's basically three parts. The first part is building rapport. You need to get to know the person. It's the most important thing. The thing that irritates me the most about people in this space, I get it every week. People just share links with me or share information with me. If you want to rub me the wrong way, share something with me without asking me how my day was. Really? You want to upset me? Like send me something without saying hi. And that is what I think a lot of people do. So building rapport, step one in a sales process. You do that right, you 50% of the way. Step two is you need to give your pitch. Now, within LifeWave, it's very easy. You can either tell your story or you can go look at the 500 testimonies we have, find one that resonates with you, and then make it yours and tell that story. That's the pitch, right? And then thirdly, the closing. That is a sales process if you break it down into three steps. Within LifeWave, it is a little bit different. We're not closing people yet. People close themselves. And how do we do that? By building rapport. I can't express that enough. Ask people, how are they doing? Ask them, what are they doing? Ask them where they are. Ask them anything. I'm not going to say something harsh. And my intention is not to upset anyone, but God gave us 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. We need to listen more than we talk. This is something that I personally have struggled with throughout my whole life because I can literally talk the ass of a donkey. And I had to flex this muscle over time. And how do you get people to talk? By asking questions. And I think that is where a lot of people are going wrong with in this process. We're so eager to share our story or share this amazing testimony that we found. And you put people off. One of the things I'd also like to just mention, people do not buy products. They buy people. They buy people. It's most important thing. Hey, George, how are you doing, buddy? So glad you joined us.
Just landed in Spain. Just landed at home, exhausted, but at home after 3 weeks of places talking about LifeWave with lots of people.
Amazing. I'm so glad you're home safe. You've been such a jet setter there. I'm so jealous. Next year I'm coming with. I hope you know that.
Yeah, of course.
So,
counting on it.
You better count on it. So I'm going to talk a little bit later about the week that I've had. I've had an incredible week. But this is not about me. Today is not about me. Today is about getting people to understand what it takes to get people to a point to order these stickers. And George, you jumped on late. And I just want to repeat this again. Within any process of sales, there's 3 points. You build rapport, you tell your story, you give your pitch. If you've done those things right, the people close themselves. So let's talk more about building rapport. So as this training suggested, I do a lot of this on WhatsApp. So you can actually type on WhatsApp to people. How are you doing? Hi. It's been a while. We haven't spoken in a while. How's the family? How's work? How's your health? I mean, these are all questions you should be asking. And if you're speaking to somebody for the first time, have a pen and piece of paper there. Take notes so you can really know who this person is, because that's going to help you a lot down the line. If you do this process of building rapport properly, there's a couple things that you need to find out. And firstly, if you ask enough questions, at some point, someone's going to ask you, what do you do? And that opens the door. So what I personally do is I build rapport on WhatsApp by typing. I'm like, hey, it's been a while, Wilson here. What's up? What are you doing? How's the family? And I type it. The moment they ask me what I do, I send them a voice note. It's probably the most important tip I could give you within this training that we're having right now. People need to hear your frequency. We're busy with frequency patches. They need to hear your excitement, your conviction when you are telling your story. And I want to tell you guys a story on how I found this voice note trick. So many years ago, I was in a crowdfunding opportunity. I generated a whole bunch of leads online. And I had I think 50 people I had to communicate with. And what I decided was I'm going to send voice notes to these people. What happened was quite remarkable. I sent out about 50 voice notes explaining what I was doing. And then in that process, I recorded the perfect voice note. When I tell you the perfect voice note, after you've done it like 50 times, you're going to have that one that explains exactly what you're doing. That's perfect. And what then happened was I found that voice note that I recorded and I started using just that voice note after building rapport. And what happened was groundbreaking. It literally upped my sales by 400%. And I didn't have to sound like a parrot and do it over and over again. And I had the recording. So the process of how I did it, I built rapport like normally if it was a new person. And the moment it got to a point, so what do you do? Then I'll throw them with that recording. And you know that recording is perfect. When people want to sign up into your opportunity, just listen to the voice note without sending information. I had so many people listen to my voice note, and before even knowing what it is, they wanted to get in. And that is probably the most important nugget I can give to you. If you're speaking to people on WhatsApp, if you do it according when, not when, if, when, I like it, when you're speaking to people on WhatsApp, you want to speak to 3 people a day, right? That's the bold 331. You do that for 10 days in a row, you've spoken to 30 people. When you've recorded voice notes, if you've done it 30 times, there's going to be one recording that's going to be like the holy grail of recordings. And you don't have to keep saying it again. You just send that one. And that's going to exponentially improve your hit rate. So many people, I hear it. Chris actually made this point. Somebody messaging, they're like, oh, we sent out 30 messages. Not one person replied. And then he's like, what did you send? No, I send them this, I send them that. And then he asked them, well, did you ask him how the day was? And they're like, no. And I think many people are doing this. So with LifeWave, it's a bit different. There's no closing. You build rapport correctly. You find out what it is they need. This is the most important thing. It might be a health issue. Somebody might be sick in the family. It might be a kid or a husband. It's important to have that knowledge. They might have a financial difficulty. We can help in both those departments. That's the beautiful thing of LifeWave. Not just helping people physically, mentally, but also financially. So I just can't stress that enough. First part, build rapport. Get to know people. Be sincere. We want to serve people. We don't want to sell people. It's like a Jehovah's Witness that knocks on your door. It doesn't work. Yes, I respect them and they must do their job, but you can't come across as trying to sell someone. You'll push them away. You need to come across as you are genuinely want to help them and you want to serve them. How can I help your situation? Now, one thing I just want to warn you about. We are in tough times at the moment. When you are building rapport with someone and they start talking about drama going on in their life or they're in a really hectic situation, don't add to that by explaining your hectic situation. People don't want to hear about drama. People don't want to hear about negative things. You might be engaging with someone that has that, they're talking about things going on in their life. Try and always turn it around and keep the frequency high of the call. And I'm going to say it again. People do not buy products, they buy people. If somebody doesn't like you, you can stand on your head, juggle 8 balls, sing Kumbaya backwards. They are not going to order LifeWave from you. You need to get to a place where you really connect with that person long before you send a single thing. So that for me is the most important part. Build a relationship, be sincere, and come across as if you want to serve them. Don't try and come across as if you want to sell them, because we're pushing people away. That's step 1. You do that correctly, you will know who they are, where they are, what they're doing, how their health is, how their financial situation is. And that's ultimately what we're looking for in that process. Then step 2, tell a story. This is the beautiful thing of LifeWave. We have an unlimited selection of stories. If you do not have your own story yet, and you will have very quickly when you get busy, then go find a story you resonate with. Go look for a testimony that really touches your heart and share that with people. And how do you do that? By either picking up the phone and phoning them, or having them in a Zoom, or sending a voice note. It is the most important thing. If they cannot hear the excitement in your voice, if they cannot hear the conviction in what you're trying to tell them, they're out the door. So that for me is step 2, tell a story. Find a story, the perfect story that you can tell. even if you don't have your own story. We've got so many. My friend Ingi, trigeminal neuralgia, 40 years. Not a single doctor could help her. No medication for it. I spoke to her on Monday. She hasn't had an attack in 2 months. Guys, I slept so well that night because I've seen my friend having attacks. I can just tell people her story. I don't even have to tell them mine. And people are like, wow, that's incredible. Give me more info. That is what you want. You want to always get the people to talk. And that is where people are failing. They either talking too much, not asking enough questions and getting people to talk, and also not getting to that place where they're really connecting with a person. If you don't do this right, you can write it on your stomach. You will not get people to buy these stickers from you. And that's ultimately what we want, because when they wear it, they love it. And that starts spreading. And then when you look again, you're in a very different financial situation. You helped a whole bunch of people. And that's what I ultimately want for every single person on this call. So that for me is step 2. Step 3 is even the most important thing after building rapport and telling your story. It's not the closing part like normally in sales. We are drip feeding people with information. And I actually want to tweak the drip feeding strategy that I used to use. What I personally do is on a Monday, I send people a testimony. Every Monday, I will send my people that I've been engaging with a testimony. I know George likes doing it sometimes every day. I know some people do it every 3 days. Me personally, I'm not hard up for business. I do it once a week. I don't want to come across as if I'm trying to sell them. I'm just sharing something amazing with them. And what I want to tweak in that process is build rapport again. Usually, I haven't even tried this yet. When I was thinking about what I'm going to talk about this evening, I'm now going to start trying this. Build the rapport again. You cannot build enough rapport with someone. So before you just send somebody a testimony a week later, again, ask them how they're doing. Now you've got a piece of paper, you've got some detail over them, you know what's going on in their life. Let's, for example, they said their child is sick or in hospital. You can literally then use that. That could be the door opener to speak to them a week later and ask them, hey, how's it going with your son? Let me show you this amazing testimony that I shared with you. And yes, I fully agree with George. It literally depends from person to person who you're speaking to, how quickly you're going to send them this drip feeding process. But again, it irritates me when people just send me stuff without asking me how am I doing. I've had a couple rough days this week because we've been super, super busy. People are trying to get my attention, and you're not going to get my attention by just sending me something. You can forget about it. And that is like it is for a lot of people that we're trying to get in here. So the third part, very important, build rapport again. Ask them how's it going. You've got some info because you've built rapport. And then I need to say this incredible testimony with you. And you can do that every second day. You can do that every day. You can do it once a week. I personally do it once a week. If it's a big leader that I'm trying to get in, I might be a bit more aggressive and be every second day or every third day. And then the last thing I want to say is be consistent, guys. This drip feeding process, some people will look at 2 testimonies and get back to you. My friend Harry, he's not on the call. It was a 2.5-month process of me just dropping the hint of LifeWave. And literally last week, Friday, he came in and he's probably going to go manager by the end of the week. And that is very, very important. Be consistent in this drip feeding process. Be sincere. If you've done the rapport building side enough, and you know that they might have a specific medical issue, when you drip feeding them information, you can send them a targeted testimony on their issue. Let's say they've got somebody that's got arthritis. We've got a whole bunch of testimonies for arthritis. Then you can rather drip feed a targeted testimony to that person. And even if you run out of the testimonies for that specific issue that they have, we've got hundreds of them. And be consistent. even if it's every day, even if it's every third day, even if it's once a week. If somebody doesn't get back to you immediately, doesn't mean they're not in. Just means you haven't done the job right yet, or they might be busy, or you haven't sent a testimony that resonates with them. I've also seen that. I've sent out testimonies to somebody, 10 different videos, nothing happened. I send them the migraine testimony, boom, all of a sudden they're in because their mom's got migraine. So you never know who they know and what their issues are. So also try and change it up with what you're sending. Try and send it arthritis testimony. I would personally say go look for all the big things: diabetes, migraines, pain. A lot of people are in pain. Cancer, there's many of them. And try and pick the big categories where there's a lot of issues like that. Because one day you will send somebody that testimony that kicks the door open. And if you're not consistent and you don't keep drip feeding them, they're not going to come in. So, just to bring this all together, what are the 3 most important things you need to do? Build rapport, be sincere, get to know them, get to know exactly where they are, what their needs are, how their health is, because this is what we need to be able to send them targeted info. Secondly, tell a story, tell your story. Do it either over the phone, on a Zoom, or in a voice note. People need to hear your frequency. Then thirdly, if they not come in yet, drip feed them and just feed them with information. The moment you see a good testimony, that's actually what I do. If I see a testimony that blows me away, then that's the next drip feed that I'll then send on to everybody. So one of the things I just wanted to share with you guys, if you scroll to the top of the chat, I shared 2 videos with you. It's my social media training videos. Please go have a look at it. I've shared all my nuggets on how to generate leads and how to really utilize the online space to start getting traction. One of the things I really do on a daily basis is WhatsApp stories and Facebook stories. And I will share a different testimony every day on my WhatsApp status, on my Facebook status. And guys, this doesn't bring you 20 people a week to sign up. It doesn't. But what happens? You drip feeding. It's literally putting people on a drip feed that you haven't even spoken to. And one day, somebody's going to say, wow, that's incredible. Tell me more. And then you can do this process. Build rapport. Ask them who they know. Even if somebody asks you, tell me more, don't just throw info at them. Build rapport first. Step 1, step 2, step 3. You cannot leave that process out. People buy products. People don't buy products, they buy people. And that's also a drip feed. It doesn't cost money to do Facebook and WhatsApp stories. A WhatsApp story is so powerful, guys. Every single person that's on your WhatsApp in the contact can potentially see that video. And you literally almost like drip feeding everybody in your contacts on a daily basis. And it's free, it doesn't cost anything. And be consistent. I've had a person that hit me up that's been looking at my stories for 4 months. 4 months, guys. One day, I just shared something that resonated with them. And they were like, wow, that's incredible. Now I can see this is real. So, yes, I don't want to carry on for much longer. Is there
Wilson?
anything you would like to add there, George? Because you're also the boss of
because I think maybe it took me a long time to understand. I use WhatsApp all the time. I use voice notes. I very rarely type. I'm a one-finger typer. I avoid typing. So all of that. But I didn't know. For a long time, I kept seeing people's logo or their icon with a blue line around it. And I was like, how come they got a blue line? It took me ages to realize that's what click means. There's a story. So if any of you guys don't know, what he's talking about, if you've seen people in WhatsApp with a blue line around their icon, a blue circle around the icon, that means you can click on it and do a story. Now, I'll just add this. I talk to people all the time, everywhere. Today I was on the airplane.
There's an Italian woman in the cafe next to me. She said, "Can you watch my bags while I go?" She's 34. She's called Anna. She works in fashion design. She's freelance. And what am I doing? And I know you see this patch on my. By the end, she's got my card. I see if you come to Mallorca, don't forget to get in touch. And if you like, I can send you some stuff about what I'm doing. Would you like me to do that? Yes, please do. So I always ask people. The Airbnb lady, I met her for 5 minutes in New York. I said, I hear you can't do Airbnb from October in New York. She said, no. I said, maybe you're looking for another opportunity. 5 minutes. Now we're in a conversation. She's watched what I've sent her and she's asked me for more stuff. You just talk and you can get to know somebody in 5 minutes in an airport.
Yes.
Two ladies in front of me, we're talking, zero interest. When they say, oh no, the sun is, it's fine. I'm not going to talk any further. Zero interest. So it's like, Javi always says, love people where they're at, but also go where the energy flows. So if you don't see a response, if it's somebody important to you, like Chris, I pursued Chris. I was like, I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to get. I said to Javi, I'm going to get Chris. But that took 6 weeks of, saying things and seeing where he was reacting or where he was even paying attention.
I love that, George. And you were persistent, and look at what's happened.
Yeah.
Because you were constantly being persistent and say, hey, I know you're busy, but you need to have a look here. 6 weeks later, Chris pulled the trigger, and look at what Chris is doing.
But look, one of my people in my first line, she was feeling down. She's in Yvette and she's Venezuelan in Mexico. And I said to her, you know what, just take 2-3 days off. And Javi said to me, 3 days, 1 day. So there are times when I take 1 day. I'm very persistent and very consistent, but I'm persistent without being boring, without being pesado. Without.
I love that, George.
Yeah. But, for example, just now I've been staying with my really close friend, dear friend. No chance. It's a scam. It's a this. I don't believe it. I'm skeptic. I said, but you can see no, I'm skeptic. She says, maybe in 2 years I'll say I made a big mistake, but yeah, so you just got to laugh.
I want to tell you guys a story about the week I had. So I had an incredible Life Web week. It started on Monday, where a very good friend of mine gave me a contact many months ago. He's a older fella, just over 70. And I had my last 7 X39s. And he just sent me a message. He says, hey, remember those patches you were talking about? Do you have some? I was like, buddy, I will give you my last 7. Because I've been chasing this guy. He can open up many doors for me. He knows many doctors. Absolute beautiful human. I get to him. And he's limping. And I was like, Uncle Easy, what's wrong? And he's like, I hurt my back. I was like, well, perfect timing. Let's put the patches to the test. So I didn't patch him immediately. We had coffee. I connected with him. We're doing other business together. Awesome guy. Every time I sit with him, I learn a lot. And then at the end, I was like, here's a gift. So my last 7 stickers, I want you to have them. You're my friend. And then in the morning, after you had a shower, get your wife to press your back exactly where the problem is and whack the X39 on there. And I forgot about him. I've been super busy. My phone's hopping. The next morning, 10 minutes after he stuck on the X39, he phones me. He's like, buddy, my back's better. It's not completely better. It's now day 2. I've shared it in the group. He's literally day by day giving me an update. What's happened since then is just next level. The friend that made the contact with me now heard his response on the stickers. Today he gave me 3 leads. He was like, this friend of mine shoulders sore, this other friend of mine knees sore, this other friend fell off a horse. In one day, just because I patched this guy, he had this incredible result. Now all of a sudden, this guy's just throwing the one lead after the other. So everything I've shared with you here works great if you don't have patches. And I know there are people on the call that's sitting in that scenario. But the best thing you could possibly do is stick these stickers on people and get them to wear them. I literally gave this guy 7 stickers. On the first day, he had a response. On the second day, he's feeling better. The guy that introduced me to him is so blown away about his friend's results. He's now got 5 other friends that he wants me to talk to. The one's a lawyer, the one's a chiropractor, the one's a pastor. And he gave me these leads today. He's like, buddy, I want to help all my friends. I can see these things work. So that is definitely an easy way of doing this because the stickers sell itself. Yes, George?
So look, I have my buddy Fred. He came up. He's French, but he lives in Marrakesh. He's got lots of businesses. He's not looking for an opportunity, and he's always been very skeptical. But we had dinner. He said, "You're looking great. You're looking amazing." And I said, "Yeah, you need to be wearing the patches." But I told him the patches 8, 10 months ago, 5 months ago. But then he said, maybe for my mother and my stepfather. And so he came in with a gold pack. And you know what's going to happen? He will suddenly be telling lots of people, talk to George. But I was never in a hurry. I just told him, you should be doing this. You should be, because people have been so burnt by so many things that don't work.
Yes.
And also, yeah, it's very exciting, but you have to be very patient.
Yes.
Patient.
It's literally playing a game of chess, you know?
Yeah.
One
exactly.
day you're going to be in that situation where it goes checkmate, and it might be a month, it might be 8 months.
So Wilson used the word consistency. I say, on the one hand, you need persistence and consistency. On the other hand, patience and passion. Time will do the rest. That's all you need. But if you focus, just keep and practice and practice and practice and practice and talk and poke and play.
Yes.
Play.
The last thing that I would like to mention is 3-way calls, guys. 3-way calls. I cannot stress it enough. Yes, George. The amount of help George has given me with some of the people that's in my network, I can't wait to go to Spain and just give him the biggest hug and spend a week by him. He's an absolute legend. 3-way calls is the most important thing. Sometimes somebody just wants to hear this from someone else. I can't explain it. You might be sending people info the whole time and you just can't get them over the line. And all they need is just somebody else with a passion to go in there and say, hey, this is what's happened to me. This is what's happened to our community. This is real. There's no more time to waste. There's people in your community that needs this. Pull the trigger. And then a 3-way call can get that person in like that.
Leverage. So if I say it or Wilson says it, some people are going to go, no, it's a scam. But if one of those people say it and start saying, and they go, oh, it's real. So my friend Fred, when he starts talking about it with the result with it, they're going to pay the people who don't pay attention to me because whatever, they're going to pay attention to him. So it's leverage. And that's at the time where I say, Fred, when it's working for you, you know people who are, pass them to me. You're in the matrix, pass them to me, and I will. You have people looking for opportunity. You're not, but other people are.
Yes. On this note, a lot of the people here, we've all been in a lot of things. And when we're communicating with people, because we've been in many things, they don't take us seriously. You get them in a 3-way call with somebody, it changes the whole dynamic because they don't know that person. Edification is the key. And they don't have an emotion attached to that specific person. So, yes, I don't want us to go on for much longer. It's been a half an hour. My idea was just to have a 15-minute chat. But I love these interactions because I really believe if people build rapport properly, tell the story properly, and do the drip feeding properly, it's going to start converting. And that's my ultimate goal. I want this to start converting for you. I want you to be in a place where you don't pay for your stickers and where your folks don't have to pay for their stickers or your family and start paying your bills, because that is what we have here. So what I'd like to do is, I see a whole bunch of people jumped on the call. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. This has been recorded if you jumped on late. If anybody would like to ask questions, that would be the perfect time to do it. I have touched on many things, and you're welcome to unmute yourself and fire away. If you want to put your
Wilson.
hand up and I need to unmute you there.
Hi, how's it, Wilson?
Yes,
That's it,
who's
what?
that? I'm not
It's
sure.
Lisa. I'm in Cape Town.
Hi, Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
hi.
Now I can see you.
Yeah. Are you in Joburg? Where are
Yes.
you?
I'm in Centurion.
Are you in Centurion?
Yes.
Okay. Who's in Cape Town on the call tonight? Is there
I have no
anybody
idea.
else on the call from? Because I want to work with, I'd love to do some get-togethers with people down in Cape Town and get this thing going.
We can talk about that. I'm not sure who, but let me talk with Chris tomorrow. I mean, he's driving now.
Yes.
Lisa, you're on the
Yeah.
333 group.
Well, now I am.
Okay, so then reach out to me so I know. Say hello to me, and I'll talk to Chris because he will know. I mean, I'm not in
Lisa,
South Africa, but he'll know who the key people are.
I'm coming to Cape
Thanks.
Town. My mom lives there. I'm probably gonna
Cool.
be there for a week or two at the end of the year. And what we can do is we can set up a meeting and I can come help you. So yes, I don't even care if you're in my team or not. My mom lives in Cape Town. I actually want to spend more time there. So the goal is to get to Cape Town more. I've got a couple of people there that I want to activate. So when I'm there, engage with George. We'll speak to Chris, and we'll see who we can connect you up with there. And yeah, the patch party is great.
Yeah, it's time now. You know, I've been involved with property and hospitality, and quite frankly, I need to get back to my life.
Yes.
I really do, and you know, it's crazy that I haven't actually got it going. So
Let me
no
tell you
more
something.
excuses.
Luckily, LifeWave's not going anywhere. So
I
even though
know,
that
I
you
know.
like you haven't given it enough attention, this isn't going anywhere. And at least you're now at that point where you're like, come, let's go. So let's speak to Chris and see who we can connect you up with. What do you think, George?
I was talking with a friend of mine who's like at the beginning of LifeWave, but she's got some skeptical friends who say it's a scam and all this nonsense. And I just said to her, don't let your dream stealers steal your dreams. But she's thinking of doing a real estate license in the US, and the property is feast or famine. I have a lot of friends who do it, and it's feast or famine, and hospitality seasonal and great for meanwhile. But when you build a LifeWave network and you see it growing month by month by month by month by month by month, it's incredible. There's a lady on the call. I sent her screenshots of from the last. I started 10 months ago. My financial anxieties are receding and almost gone, and we're now almost into the next level of being able to be super creative. And I've been able to fix endless things with the house, which is wonderful, which I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And
Yes,
the wonderful thing is,
in this process, once you see somebody in your network, like somebody like that gets results, that's where it starts spreading. And you can't stop it. It's like a life wave. It just starts doing its own thing. So that's where I would like everybody in this call to get to. Get to that point where you can start seeing results with your own people. And then there's a fire that can't be stopped. And it just starts growing and growing and growing. And you'll just get more and more excited. And the more excited you are about this, the quicker this goes. Any other questions there? I see everybody's very quiet. Did you guys find value with what we shared here? Is there anything that I need to go over again? Is there anything that you're struggling with? Hi, Helen.
Hi. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to unmute. It was by mistake.
No problem.
But
Nice
I want
chat.
to thank you.
Anyway.
Sorry, Wilson, I've got the flu, so I sound like a croaking frog. But just thank you so much for sharing your valuable tips with us. It's really wonderful. Thank you so much. And I do agree with you.
Pleasure.
I do agree with you. You have to build rapport with people, and you need to meet them where they're at and get in common with them with what. I mean, if you actually introduce yourself to someone, even if you've never met them, if it was a cold prospect on social media, then at least look at their page and see what commonalities you can strike with them, or what they reflected as something of importance to them, you know. So if they had their children in their pictures, you can say that, oh, it's so wonderful to see that they do things with their family. Or if they ride horses, then you can approach them from that perspective. So meet them where they're at, you know. And that way you'll
That's
build rapport with them.
very
Don't just dive in with something that's completely irrelevant to them. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. And I think many people make that mistake. We've got such an amazing opportunity and we just want to share it with people, but spilling the beans too quickly, it just pushes them away. And no, I'm very excited for this engagement. What I'm going to do is in the 333 group, I'm going to share with you guys the 2 trainings that I've done on social media. And it's going to show you guys how to do Facebook and WhatsApp stories. There's other couple tips and tricks in there as well. It was like 2-hour sessions that I did. I'm going to post it in the WhatsApp group. Please have a look at it. I know not a lot of people do the online thing, but guys, WhatsApp stories and Facebook stories, it's free. You can do it every 24 hours. And you literally drip feeding your whole community on a daily basis. And you will see every now and again, somebody's going to say, hey, what is this? I've now been looking at you for the last 3 months. There's something going on here. So, yeah, that's pretty much it from me. I see we're already at 40 minutes. Anything else we can handle? Yeah, let me quickly go look in the chats. Anything else you would like to say, George? Because then we can take this in for a landing. I do want this recording short so people
Yeah, no,
watch it.
not so much. It's just going back to what I say: light touch, persistence, consistency, not be emotionally involved with it. You know,
Yes.
that's probably a key one. I play with people all day long, and I ask them, may I have permission? Should I send you some stuff? What I do is I generally don't give my number. The girl, generally I say, take my number. Sorry, let me say that better. Generally, I don't ask for anybody's number. I don't. I give them, like this girl today in the airport. I said, you know, if you come to Mallorca, here's my card, get in touch. It was great to talk to you. And then later, I said, why don't you add me to WhatsApp? And then later, as we're leaving, I said, if you like, I'll send you some information about the batches I was talking about. She said, yeah, please do. But I don't ask people for their number. I give them my number. Like the lady from the Airbnb in New York, I didn't take her number. I gave her my I gave her my number and said to her, listen, you know, get in touch with me if you'd like some more. So then when people get in touch with you, that's already half the, you're not chasing
Yes.
them. They've come towards you, and that's huge.
Yes.
I started doing that about a month and a half ago, and that's my newer way of doing it. You learn.
Yeah.
One
You want
learns.
people
One
to
learns
come
all
to
the
you.
time. But
Like,
look,
I
we
love
have
that.
something here so special, so different, so powerful in every sense. These patches, you know, I don't think there are any other products, any other networks that have something that does what these patches do. So, you know, people tell me about this and about that, and yeah, it's good, and nothing works like these patches. Number one. Number two, we have leadership here, a company, a very moral company, and the quantum team leadership as well. So people are very much aligned in what they're doing here. It's not like, you know, most network marketers. I've met many of them. They're you know, chest punchers. And, you know, here, so LifeWave gives back 60% of their income to the brand partners, and really, I would say it's the easiest hard work I've ever done, and
And a lot of fun.
and a lot of fun. And and if I look at my wallet, you know, my money coming in every week, it's just, thank you, Lord, thank you, Lord, absolutely. And then,
George,
you know, having fun and
thank you so
meeting
much.
people. You know, some of you may have seen the testimonial by Andre Davudi, the guy whose leg was going to be cut off.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'll repost it in the group now. In when I finish speaking, Andre, I met him and his wife in Tampa, and and she said to me, my father was dying. It looked like my husband, they were going to cut his foot off, but his leg off, but they also were not really sure that he would even survive. I was like, what am I going to do with my with my children and no money? And the patches, has his leg, he's walking around, and their money life changed utterly just because somebody gave him a patch.
Yes.
It's astounding. So I guess Mark here could even say something. Can we twist your arm, Mark, to say something about the changes for you with not only with the health, but what you're seeing with the money?
But of course, this is what 16 weeks for me. And hi, George. I haven't talked to you in a while. And Wilson.
I know I missed you, but
Hey, Wilson, spot on. But in Texas, we say bullseye.
Thank you, brother. Nice to meet you.
You know, I healed from stage 2 cancer and leukemia, and I did that through my diet of no wheat, dairy, sugar, alcohol, and wheat products. Because in the U.S., the wheat's contaminated with glyphosate. But then I saw a testimonial by Neil Cannon. He said, sent it to me, and a woman shrank her tumors 50% in the first 30 days. And I had originally about 15 tumors in my belly, and I shrank them through the cleansing down to 7. So I get on the patches. George and I speak the very first day, and I'm all gung-ho, and I jump in with the gold and just get with it on 3949 glute, carnosine, Aeon. And the next 8 weeks, my knees to my ankles burned every day because I was pushing all those toxins out of the remaining tumors. The last 5 weeks now, no more itching or burning. And as George knows, I've worn glasses since age 29, and I'm driving now 4 weeks with no glasses.
Wow.
This left eye, but it comes and goes. I wear a patch usually right on the temple, and every now and then the floaters return and it gets fuzzy, but the next day it clears again. And once a week, I see a minor change. But that's not the biggest story in town. George knows, but we got my buddy Tommy Miller out of a wheelchair after 7 years with stenosis of the spine. It took him 7 weeks on the patches, full regimen like me, and he got off insulin after 20 years. He got off oxygen and out of the wheelchair, and now his blood work came back all in range. And this is a man that's had stenosis for 40 years and 32 surgeries. A doctor at Scott and White in Temple, Texas said, Tommy, you might as well accept you'll be in the wheelchair the rest of your life. Well, I'm going with Tommy back to that doctor, and Tommy's going to walk in. And
I'm going to say something here that when I first met Mark, so obviously I want to always transmit as much as I can when I meet somebody new. So when I first met Mark, we were talking about his situation, his health situation, what to put in the order, and so on and so forth. But I also just left in the conversation, I said to him, I don't know if money is important to you, but if money is important to you, there's more to this story. And he just said it is. And we left it at that. I didn't talk to him at all about that until he then got in touch with one person, then with another person to do their orders. And then is when I said to Mark, I need to show you what the money story is here as well. And, Mark has the passion, let me say it like this, to help and heal everybody around him that he can. Big passion.
Up to 148 people now under me.
Yeah, so Mark has that passion, and it's huge. But he also is very welcoming, let's use that word, welcoming of the monies that is landing in his wallet. Sure. I don't know what it's, I don't know where you were after COVID and so on and so forth, but, why don't you talk about that side of it as well, Mark, and kind of how it came across you, that part of it?
Sure. Usually in the beginning, I'm like, I'm not interested in making money off of my friends. I had that mental block. But I realized my healing story, my phone is blowing up with people calling me like, how did you do this? And I heard Tommy's out of the wheelchair. And the next question, 2 questions, where do I get more information about the product and how do I purchase it? And I finally decided that, well, I've done the healing and I'm doing the talking. And LifeWave compensates me for sharing because I'm the marketing force. And Tommy Miller, we walked into the 50th reunion 8-9 weeks ago, and we have signed up, I don't know, 2 dozen people from our class reunion because we just walked in and started talking about what's going on with you guys. And my brother the other day called and says, Mark, I heard you're healing everybody. I said, Johnny, I'm just helping people with correcting or improving their health and wellness through the method I did to cleanse myself and get rid of cancer. So the money starts coming in. And now I find that I'm able to help those that cannot help themselves. A good friend of mine, he can't afford these patches. And I have put him into 3 solid months of about every patch you could, because he's such a dear friend. And if I can help him come back from the edge of darkness, oh, his story will be as powerful as any of us. And the money, it's very welcoming because I'm retired. I'll be 69 next month, although I look 39. And I welcome the money because I'm able to, like my 3 daughters, I just bought them all silvers and sent it to them. But I learned when people don't have skin in the game, be careful. So anyway, but my buddy Mark, I said, Mark, I'm going to give you all these patches. All I ask is that you wear them consistently, and I'll check in with you. And real quickly, so the first week he was very, very skeptical. Second week, very skeptical. Third week, skeptical. And the fourth week, his word went to hopeful. And now he's like, I might actually get off insulin. I said, well, talk to Tommy. Tommy got off of it after 20 years, and Tommy's a high school buddy. So we get on a 4-way call because Tommy and Mike have done their healing or healing. And Mark is listening. He says, somebody pinched me. Is this real? I said, believe it, my friend. And now wait till we get him further. He's only 4 or 5 weeks into it, but he came back from the edge of darkness. And I mean, he's tried to take his life 3 times. He's so ill. We pulled him back from the edge, and now he's his bubbly self. He's a comic, and he started tying his fly fishing lures again, and he fixes old clocks. And I told him, I said, he didn't know how he's going to pay for it going forward. I said, Mark, you get your healing story together, and people are going to flock to you asking you, what are you doing? And when you tell them, I'll help you sign them up under you, and you can start making some little commissions on the back end that will help you buy your patches going forward. He goes, yeah, okay, I like that. I said, and then Mark, be on the patches and make a little money. Now, I didn't dare say Javi made 19,000 last week, but I'll let them discover that, because depending on how busy they want to be, and Tommy Miller, he's got a new purpose in life. He is just talking to everybody, and he's going to people's houses and showing them
that's huge. That last thing you said, Tommy has a new purpose in life. He was sitting in a wheelchair for 7 years. He's now got a purpose in life. That is huge. It's not only about the money. I think you meant 1,900, not 19,000.
Whatever Javi got that 1 week.
Anyways, but that not only has his health improved, but it's given him something to get his teeth into and be busy with.
And he said he hadn't been in the workforce in a long time, but just yesterday he says, Mark, one more manager, I make director. And he was excited about it. I said, you go, brother, you go. I'll help you. Look, we're trying to identify who else can make manager. But when you kind of get it in your mind that, look, we're doing the healing and we're doing the work ourselves, and now we're doing the talking, I'm okay with getting a little bit of commission on the back end to help me buy patches, and it helps me to do it for others, because my friend Mark, I'm going to fund this until I can get him on his feet, and that's fine. I do it because I said, Mark, you're a brother from another mother. But anyway, the story is
so amazing. I just get goosebumps hearing your testimony. We did record this. I want Chris to chop this up, because that's something I really want to use. It would be great if we could just do a video testimony just on your story with what's happened with your friend out of the wheelchair. I'll ask Chris to chop this up. But Your heart is the reason why you are seeing success. A lot of people on this call have the same heart, and I'm exactly the same. I want to get to a place where I can help everybody in my family that can't afford it. And I've got people sick in my family. I'm taking them one by one. I'm like, here's some stickers. I'm going to help you. And we don't know who people know that,
That's right.
that we're friends with. And this is the biggest thing. I mean, if you listen to the story of the chimney sweeper that shared the stickers with a friend and then got in Onyx Coal, you never knew that that person knew Onyx Coal. And this is the power of what we're doing here. We don't know who people know. And because of this incredible compensation plan and the binary being unlimited levels deep, this is just exponential, because you don't know who that person knows, who that person knows, who that person knows, and it could be 1,000 levels deep. So, yes, thank you so much for that, Mark. You just gave me goosebumps there.
Thanks. One more thing. When I'm signing someone up now, I say, look, I'm going to help you sign up and we're going to create you a brand partner membership. But for now, you just work on your healing story. And if the time comes and you want to sign people up, I'll help you. They can come in under you and you can make these little commissions. If you're not interested, that's okay. You can just send them to me or send them to another friend and we'll sign them up. But they usually, when they start seeing the results, and it's real easy, I just have netted out now. When you go out in the sun, sunshine triggers your body to make vitamin D. When you put on the X39, it will reflect that light and trigger your copper peptide to reset those stem cells. Absolutely, just like sunshine. And then what do you have to lose? It's 90 days for $99 a month. And I believe in 90 days, you're going to feel some changes. And in some cases, I just say 100%, I know something's going to happen. And how can you say 100%? I said, because this product is revolutionary. It works the same way sunlight does with your body.
Incredible.
I've had to net it out. Yeah.
Love that. Oh, Mark, it's such a pleasure meeting you. And I can't wait to see what you're going to do within this community.
It takes me a long time to grow this hair back, but I have salt and pepper in my mustache now. And it used to be all white. Salt and pepper coming through, and I'm like, let's see what happens here.
That's incredible. Guys, if there's no more other questions, let's take this in for a landing. Thank you for every single person that joined us on the call. Mark, thank you for that incredible testimony. I just posted
the testimony of Andre Davudi. Very powerful. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But you know, Chris has talked about your hair growing, and I can see that definitely is very.
I have been bald since the 90s. I was very young and started losing hair, and I actually shave my hair at the moment, but when I let it grow, you won't believe it. It's literally starting to close. I'm not sick of anything. My energy levels are up. My mental state is better. My mental clarity is better. And I'm just on so much fire at the moment. And yes, all we got to do is just get out there and share what we've seen. And that's just going to exponentially do its thing. So guys, thank you so much for everybody. I'm going to get called to edit this, get Chris to edit this for us. I know he's busy driving. I don't know how quickly that's going to happen. But thank you so much, and looking forward to engage with you guys again. George, thank you so much for jumping on the call. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything you do for me and for our whole community. We would not be successful in this if it wasn't for you. Let me tell you that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. No, I love it, but just count on me, and I respond pretty quick when I'm not on an airplane or something.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much, guys. Have a great evening, and we'll engage with you guys soon. Have an awesome week.
Thank you, everybody. It was really great.
It's a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you. It was brilliant.
Thank you, Wilson.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wilson.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye. Texas. Ciao.
Cheers. Bye.